Hello and welcome back to the final part of this Green Goblin series. Here you can see what I started off with, his broken toe, and here you can see what we ended up with in the last video. Very nice paint job, if I do say so myself. Now I also teased this at the end of last week's video, so that's essentially what today's video is. So first thing, we're getting straight into this. I've started off with just Halford's white primer, and that's what you're going to see me here using. I choose kebab sticks to hold everything while I paint. I've just time-lapsed the paint because some people find it quite satisfying, so I've left it in. Now one thing I do want to say, if you do want these 3D files yourself, I will leave the link in the description below. They're from a guy called patrickchou on Instagram. At least that's how I got these files. To my knowledge, they are his, so again, use the link in the description. All you do is you send him a message, you request the file, you pay through PayPal, he'll email you the download links, and you can download all the files. He has different sized footwells for it, as well as pumpkin bombs, which, like I said in the last video, I can't remember if I said it or not, I scaled down the pumpkin bombs because I wanted them to be a little bit more close to 1/12 scale. And you can see just in there's also magnets that I've added. So I have modified this ever so slightly, but not any of the original raw files except for rescaling. So you can see I've created a nice little bouquet of green goblin glider parts. And now I'm going to be using my airbrush to add this silver. This is just a basic airbrush that I got off of Amazon. So it's just a Fender actual airbrush nozzle and everything. So here I'm also just showing the paint and the thinner that I used. And so I'm just going in and giving it nice light coats and then building that up. This was a lot more of a light silver in person, so I do go and recoat it with a more gunmetal, which you will see in a second anyway. You can see this gives a really nice even coating. And I'm just going to go through and do it to all the parts you've already seen. But again, you can see how it slowly gets darker and darker, so you just build up your layers with an airbrush and you get a really nice even finish. Like you can see there. You're normally able to keep even more detail than if you would spray paint. Now you can see the shadows jump in the background there. That's because my airbrush got blocked up from excess paint, and you can see me here blowing air back into the paint cup to try and dislodge some of that, so that I don't have to do a full clean out. Which I did eventually manage to do, as you can tell by the fact that I got it all painted. But I did then go and clean out again, because you can see the shadows change once more. And this is the gunmetal I'm going to be using, because it's the only gunmetal I have. This stuff's absolutely great. And I'm just doing light coats, just to tone down the brightness of the silver a little bit. And there you go. So with all of it painted and assembled, it's worth pointing out the ball joints that you saw are posable. So if you wanted to leave this posable and you knew you wouldn't be handling it much, you could just socket these joints together and move them around. However, I will end up supergluing them together, as you'll see later. So this here is the purple I'm using just to do the only other real bit of colour that's on this glider. From the reference images I was looking at, it's basically just gunmetal and purple, which I think is a really nice contrast, especially with the matte purple and the highly reflective gunmetal. But here you can see I've superglued it all together. I got all the footwells in a position that I was happy with, and then I did the tactic of essentially tack welding these together. So just putting it into place and dropping a little bit of superglue in the back. Just so that if I really wanted to, I could remove the superglue and pop these back out. So here are those pumpkin bombs I was talking about. I've done a base coat of silver, painted on just by brush, by hand, and then clear orange over the top, and the little green details and the black ring around the center green light. And you can see there those little 3mm magnets, I believe they are. I think they're 0.5mm thick, so they're very thin, but they are strong enough to very easily hold those pumpkin bombs in there. It's worth pointing out there are also alternate files for those wings, where they've got the pumpkin bombs sculpted in. I just wanted them removable in case I want to do stop motion with it. You can also see those vents in the front. They are green in most of the reference image I can find, so I am just adding a little bit of green wash in there just to break up the colour a little bit, and I've also added it into the thrusters in the back. Just to break up the constant monochrome gunmetal. So here's the alternate heads that I didn't properly show off in the last video. You can see they've got damage to them. Again, the link to the CG Trader website will be in the description specifically for these. I didn't make these files. It was another guy and he's done an absolutely phenomenal job. And you can see the unmasked head as well. Obviously I've painted these myself. But yeah, this is incredible 3D files. Now this is the giveaway. So those 3 heads, I've printed Marvel Legends scale ones, and I will be giving those away, but I'll show that more at the end of the video. So here you can see I've added magnets. I've put them in where the original peg holes for his old glider would have been, that I don't have because I got this second hand for cheap. And that's just the wedge fit. The magnets aren't strong enough to hold him on it properly. But this is essentially it done. This is the aesthetics of this glider and the Green Goblin finished. And I'm very happy with this. Both the files for the Green Goblin glider and the heads are absolutely phenomenal, so if you do want them, please do check the link in the description below. You're not helping me out in any way, but you are helping the creator of these incredible files out. And in all honesty, they deserve so much attention. They deserve you buying these files if you can afford them and you want them, because they're great. So what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to show off the amount of detail on this finished custom figure, I suppose. And then I'm also trying to just show how nicely he poses. So you can see I've added another set of magnets in there, right on the heel. Now these ones do a lot to help. The first ones help align the feet, and the new ones really help to lock in, because those ones on the heel stop him teetering forwards, or dislodging and falling off the glider. So yeah, very, very helpful. You can see there the pose that he's in. Without those magnets, originally he would have just fallen off. So I can get him in a much, much nicer pose, without worrying about him teetering off the shelf at any point. So there you have it. That's the finished product from this video, from this 2-parter series. If you're curious as to how I made the Green Goblin, the link for the first video will be in the description. The link for his repair video will also be in the description below. Now all you need to do for this giveaway to work, go to my Instagram, follow, post this post on your story. You'll see it when you go to my Instagram. Subscribe to this channel, like and comment, and tell me what you think I should do for the next video. And then once you've posted on Instagram, there'll be more details on the actual Instagram post. But you do need to subscribe and comment on this video to be entered. But yeah, again, more details will be on the Instagram post that I make, so please do go check that out. But thank you so much for watching. Again, check all the links in the description, everything I've mentioned will be there. And I hope to see you in the next video. And I look forward to seeing who wins the giveaway, because it's the first one I've done in quite a while.